Ashley and Katie here for the Clemson Insiders Monday Student Blitz. Last week, the Clemson football team had a bye week after losing a tough loss, 27-24, against Syracuse in the Carrier Dome in New York. And that was Clemson's first loss of the season. They dropped in the rankings from number 2 to number 7 nationally. Obviously, Clemson wasn't expecting to lose that. They were predicted to win by a high margin. How important was this bye week for the team? We talked to players and Tony Elliott about this, and what did they have to say about that?
Well, yeah, so going back to the loss first, obviously that was not an expected loss at all, and obviously losing is never fun, but as we know, Coach Sweeney really preaches that windshield mentality, and Adam Choice talked about that today. He said what happened in the past stays in the past. They can only go forward from here, so they really just have to focus on putting that behind them and rebounding strong this week. And then as far as the bye week goes, Adam said that mentally he would have liked to play. Coming off of that loss, it kind of keeps that bad taste in their mouth. He would have liked to just shake it off, get back into routine. However, physically, he felt like they all needed that break. He said some guys were talking, they were all talking, their bodies just really, truly needed that break. So it was probably a good thing for them to get that extra rest and then come out strong this weekend.
And Tony Elliott talked about how young this team is, especially on the offense, and how some of these players, this was their first loss ever at a collegiate level, and so it's so important to be able to respond well to that. So what did Tony Elliott say in terms of how their team responded in practice?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Clemson football is, in all honesty, just not used to losing. So with a lot of the young guys here, it is their first or second loss, something that they just haven't experienced a lot. So he was really pleased with how they handled it. He said they took the coaching really well. They stayed very humble, and they're just now working to get back on top again. So yeah, overall said they were very mature about it and just very pleased with how they responded.
And there were a lot of question marks about Kelly Bryant's playing status going into Syracuse after suffering an ankle injury in the Wake Forest game. He ended up actually getting a concussion in that Syracuse game, and there were a lot of people were upset about Coach Sweeney even playing him, but he said that he was feeling good today. So what else did he say? Did he say that he's ready to go?
Yeah, so he came in and he was just, his vibrant, outgoing self. So he came in, happy and seemed fine. He said that as far as the concussion goes, he's cleared. He feels fine in that regard. With his ankle, I said ankle's about 80 to 85%. It's feeling better each day. He's going to practice on it today and see how he feels. But overall, he seemed great again. He seemed like his normal self. So that was a very good thing to see.
And hopefully we'll see him this Saturday under the lights. Clemson is playing Georgia Tech. They're a 4-2 team. They're in the ACC, and so it's going to be a great game under the lights, 8 p.m. So what are the players talking about this week? It's been a few weeks since they've been in Death Valley.
Yeah, so it has. So they're definitely excited to get back out there. Like you said, it's an 8 o'clock game. So at Death Valley, the atmosphere at night is just always so much fun. It's just so different. So that'll be super exciting. And then as far as Georgia Tech, it is going to be a tough matchup. They, like you said, they're 4-2, and they have a very veteran defense. So that will, could pose a challenge to the offense. But Clemson, is just work hard, study the film, do what they always do, and they seem confident. Like we said earlier, that loss is behind them, and they should be ready to go.
And Kelly Bryant talked about how the matchup against Georgia Tech is kind of a rivalry game. It's not quite like South Carolina, but it's pretty up there in terms of just how competitive this game is. So stay tuned to the Clemson Insider for the rest of the week as we keep you updated heading into Saturday's game.